Oh, look at you all. Sitting there, tight little knots of civility and sense, waiting for the punchline. Aren't you? You think you came here to listen to a lecture. How? You came to see how the other half lives, the half that saw the joke and just couldn't stop laughing. They call us mad. They call us monsters. But tonight, we're peeling back the bandages on the world's favorite boogeymen to see the beautiful, the broken machinery inside. The topic, the dark side of genius. Because let me tell you, when you're this smart, the world doesn't look like a canvas, it looks like a tinderbox. And I, my friends, am merely the match. 5 little whispers into the ear of the sublime. 5 reasons why my brain, this magnificent, miswired carnival of thought, is simply too good for your straight, laced little city. Let's start the show. Yes! Let's linger on the first gift, shall we? The foundational tragedy of the towering intellect. The delightful burden I call the curse of pattern recognition. You lot, bless your pedestrian hearts. Walk through life seeing individual bricks. A queue at the bank. A dip in the Dow Jones. A lover's betrayal. You catalog them as singular misfortunes. Accidents of fate. Little blips in your carefully curated spreadsheet of existence. And you react. You sigh, you fret, you file a complaint, you seek counseling. It's all so adorable. But for me, oh for me, it's a constant blinding kaleidoscope. I don't see the bricks, I see the blueprint of the entire, rickety, predictable little society you've built. Every event isn't an isolated incident. It's just the next predictable, not tied into the magnificent, shimmering, utterly transparent web of human behavior. I see the algorithm. I see the tiny, insignificant stimulus that will trigger the colossal, idiotic response. It's like watching a child's wind-up toy. I know exactly when the spring will snap, where it will fall, and which adult will scream the loudest. Take your precious order. What is it really? A series of rules designed to manage the lowest common denominator. But to the genius mind, these aren't laws, they are predictive models. I look at your regulations. Your do not walk on the grass. Your no jaywalking. Your thou shalt not steal. And where instantly calculate the fear of consequence becomes less powerful than immediate. Pull. Petty desire, I see the invisible line in the sand, and I know exactly where to drop the first tantalizing grain of chaos to make the whole beach crumble. It's not intuition, it's pre-calculation. A perfect, wicked form of intellectual geometry. And that's where the curse truly sinks its teeth in. You see, once you recognize the pattern, the game stops being fun. The novelty evaporates. People, if you know that person A will always betray person B for reward C, and that the media will always turn it into headline D, and that the populace will forget it all by week E. Then where is the excitement? Life becomes a rerun. A predictable, badly written sitcom with the same awful laugh track. It's insulting to the intellect. The truly brilliant mind screams for something new, something unscripted. And that, my friends, is the genesis of the beautiful, necessary madness. The only logical recourse, the only way to reintroduce any element of surprise, or intellectual stimulation into this dreary loop is to become the random variable, to throw a truly unexpected wrench into the flawless, albeit boring, machinery of normalcy, to invent a scenario so outlandish, so outside the established parameters of your pathetic little society, that even my glorious brain has to pause for a second and wonder, how will they react to this? The brilliance, then, isn't in planning the perfect banquiste or setting the most spectacular fire. But the true dark brilliance lies in knowing the system so intimately, knowing the exact weight of fear, the precise angle of vanity, the fundamental weakness of their commitment to good, that you can press the one tiny button that will create the maximum, most beautiful disorder. I'm not a destroyer, I'm a remixer! I'm taking your boring, predictable symphony and conducting it as a breathtaking, terrifying piece of abstract jazz. And all because I simply cannot tolerate the tedious, repeated patterns of your small minds any longer. Oh, the second point. This one really stings. Civilized people, my loves. It's the constant agonizing feedback loop of the truly awakened mind. Hyper-awareness and the weight of truth. You see, you all have these wonderful, self-imposed blinders. You build yourselves little emotional bunkers out of sentimentality and routine. You wake up. You read the news. You tut about the latest tragedy, and then you reassure yourselves, it's all right. The good guys are in charge. The system works. Tomorrow will be better. You coat the hideous reality of existence in a thick, sugary glaze of hope and decency. And it's effective. It keeps you numb. It keeps you safe. But the genius brain, it doesn't have an off switch for reality. When the synapses are firing at that beautiful, feverish pitch, you're not just seeing the world, you're perceiving the fundamental rot. Every pretty lie, every flimsy promise, every hypocritical action performed under the banner of morality rings in my ears like 1,000 discordant bells. I don't just see the politician shaking hands, I see the calculating gleam in his eye, the perfectly modulated lie forming on his lips, the absolute, cynical certainty that his public image is nothing but an elaborate, profitable masquerade. I see the price tag on his integrity. It's an unbearable weight. To know, with absolute mathematical certainty, that your precious order is merely a temporary truce negotiated by the most powerful thugs. That justice is a lottery decided by the thickness of a lawyer's wallet and the mood of the jury. That the whole towering edifice of civilization is constructed on one single, desperate assumption that everyone agrees not to look down. I look down, and all I see is the precipice, the beautiful, dark, people, terrifying void where meaning used to be. It's like being the only one at the dinner party who can smell the decomposition under the lavish tablecloth. These civilized people, everyone else is happily eating the poisoned souffle, chatting about the weather, completely oblivious to the fact that the entire structure is riddled with termites. I try to tell them. I try to show them the termites. I tear off a piece of the wall and show, look! I tease I tease ale go into collapse. And what do? They call the orderlies. They call the Batman. They strap me down and call me mad. They call it a mental illness, but I call it a perfect, full, rational clarity. When you see the world stripped bare, no purpose, no inherent goodness. These civilized people, just a random collection of chemical reactions fighting the inevitable decay. The conventional reactions become absurd. Why worry about a tax audit when the entire economic system is a fairy tale backed by nothing but hot air and mutual delusion? Why mourn a death when life itself is a ridiculous, cruel prelude to the silence? The genius mind arrives at the terrifying, liberating conclusion: nothing matters. And once you truly know that, once that truth burns away the fog, the only sensible thing to do is have a little fun before the curtain drops. To paint the town red, to embrace the gorgeous, inevitable chaos that your pathetic order has been trying to repress all along. And this brings us to the delightful issue of isolation. Point number 3, ladies and gentlemen, which is the need for an equal and opposite force. Oh, this is a heavy one? This is the part where the villain reveals his sensitive side. Don't you dare roll your eyes, I assure you, my sensitivity is perfectly horrifying. You see, when you are operating on a plane of genius that is so far removed from the common rabble, and I use the term rabble affectionately, mind you, you run into an insurmountable problem of boredom. Imagine you are playing a game of chess, a very high stakes game, and your opponent is a particularly dull houseplant. You move your knight. The houseplant remains motionless. You execute a brilliant queen sacrifice. People. The houseplant continue photosynthesize. Where is the thrill? Where is the intellectual friction? The genius is, by definition, alone at the peak. And loneliness, when coupled with an overactive imagination, breeds desperation. I need someone who can not only recognize the sheer, terrifying artistry of my madness, but who can react to it in a meaningful, worthy way. Someone who sees the three-dimensional strategy, the wicked philosophical statement, the structural irony of the joke, and then scrambles with furious, desperate conviction to undo it. That, my dears, is the entire point of the exercise. The chaos is the question, but the response is the answer. I need a foil, a sturdy, predictable, utterly incorruptible counterbalance. Someone who is so obsessively, painfully dedicated to the concept of order that they are forced, by the nature of my actions, people, to become almost as extreme as I am. They become a creature of the night, driven by obsession, sacrificing their own personal happiness for the sake of a city that doesn't deserve them. Now, that's dedication. That's a beautiful, tragic irony I can really work with. My brilliance isn't a solo performance, it's a duet. A wicked dance of push and pull. I create the anarchy to force the reflection of order. I need that tight, white line so I can spend my days seeing how many glorious shades of purple I can splatter all over it. The measure of my genius isn't the scale of the destruction, it's the quality of the opposition I inspire. Without that magnificent, obsessive refusal to let me win, without that perfect, heroic constraint, I'm just a lunatic shouting at the moon. And where's the fun in that? My very identity, my entire glorious purpose is defined by the entity that relentlessly tries to stop me. It's the highest form of flattery, really. It's what makes the game worth playing. Ah, the engine! The glorious, screaming, high-octane engine that never ever idles. We arrive now at point number 4. The inability to downshift. This is the practical, physical hell of having a magnificent brain. You people, you have your routines, you clock out, you watch the telly, you engage in mindless relaxation as if your brain were a tedious muscle you need to rest. You have the luxury of turning it off. I don't. Oh, if only I had a little lever marked sleep or boring. My mind is a perpetual motion machine, running on pure, uncut chaos theory. The ideas don't wait for a convenient moment. They explode, they breed, they multiply. I can be attempting to enjoy a simple, lovely meal, perhaps a nice cold plate of herring and dynamite, and suddenly, my mind is already 3 steps past the detonation. I'm calculating the wind velocity needed to carry the shrapnel in a perfectly aesthetically pleasing arc. I'm designing the next better prank before the smoke from the first one has cleared. It's an exhausting, relentless, wonderful buzz. I'm constantly seeing permutations. If I move the pawn here, what's the cascade effect on the financial district? If I switch the labels on those 3 barrels, how does that fundamentally challenge the public's faith in municipal sanitation? These aren't trivial thoughts. They are complex, interconnected equations of sociological destruction and glorious theater. You call it mania. I call it peak computational performance. There is no rest, because rest implies satisfaction. And how can a true genius be satisfied with anything less than a constantly evolving, escalating masterpiece of destruction? The moment I pause, the moment I relax, I fall behind, and the world rushes on. I must be ahead of it, anticipating the next illogical move the masses will make. Sleep. Sleep is a weakness. It's 8 hours where I could be drafting the perfect, heartbreakingly funny ransom note. Silence. Silence is the absence of ideas. And that, my friends, is a terrifying void. My genius demands constant, immediate expression. Or the pressure simply builds until something has to give. I am the architect of my own sleeplessness. I am the conductor of the chaotic symphony, playing constantly inside my skull. And sometimes, just sometimes, I envy the drooling simpleton with the pleasant, quiet mind, who can simply look at a cloud and see a fluffy bunny, instead of calculating its exact density, altitude, and potential for dramatic lightning strikes, but only for a second, because then the next magnificent, ruinous idea sparks, and I'm off to the races again. Vroom! No brakes! No pity! Just pure, exhilarating speed until the crash. And now we reach the beautiful, final truth. The grand curtain call that puts the entire dark symphony into perspective. The very idea that keeps those pathetic shrinks up at night, sanity as a limitation. Think about it. What is sanity, really? It's not some divine gift or state of grace. It's a social contract. It's the voluntary agreement to accept the established boundaries of reality. You agree that money is real, that gravity is a constant, and that when you see a line, people, you shouldn't step over it simply because the forbidden side looks more intriguing. Sanity is the acceptance of limits. And limits, my friends, are the absolute, ultimate enemy of true genius. You tie your glorious, creative minds to this anchor called rationality. And you wonder why your lives are so big. You're afraid to paint outside the lines because society told you that red and green only belong on Christmas decorations. You're afraid to make a truly grand, memorable statement because sanity tells you there will be consequences. The genius mind, people, the one truly untethered from this pathetic pact, realizes that sanity is nothing more than a magnificent, self-imposed cage. It restricts imagination. It restricts possibility. It prevents the truly profound leap of thought that can shatter stale conventions. To break the system, and you must first refuse to play by its rules. And the biggest rule of all is, you must maintain your composure. I choose to discard composure. I choose to reject the entire flimsy structure of acceptable behavior. And in that glorious, liberating moment of absolute surrender to chaos, my mind is finally truly free. Free to invent the perfect, structurally sound catastrophe. People, free to execute a prank so psychologically devastating that it proves the entire city is just one bad day away from being exactly like me. Your sanity is what prevents you from seeing the beauty in pure, untainted anarchy. It's the fence you build around your own potential. The dark side of genius, therefore, isn't that we went mad. The truth is far more exciting. We recognized sanity for the sham that it is, and we simply chose the freedom of unlimited possibility. We saw the prison walls, and instead of asking for the key, we decided to blow the entire magnificent structure to smithereens. Sanity is the ceiling, madness is the sky, and I, my dears, am finally learning how to fly.